everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while for you, probably, and it's been definitely a while for me. I don't think I've sat in front of the camera for about a month now because I've had no time to film over the weekends, which is the only time I can film. So here, we're actually sitting here on a Wednesday morning. I have a flight to go home back to the US in a few hours. I have to do 2 videos. I have to pack. I haven't done that. I have to do a little bit of shopping, I think, if I can. I have to go eat lunch. Basically, I have a lot to do. And I've had a lot to do recently. But I'm very happy to be sitting in front of you guys today to discuss with you Monkey, which is a Japanese literary journal for new writing from Japan. And I wanted to discuss this because I think it's just a really, really wonderful and quite beautiful way to be introduced to Japanese writers. Now, I am someone who has always liked the idea of being a literary magazine reader. It's something, as a kid, I always thought if I read literary reviews, literary journals, it would make me very astute and very intelligent, and people would like go wow at my intellectuality or whatever it is I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's always something I've wanted to do, basically, but I've never actually been able to do it. I've made attempts in the past, and I think you can even see that this is the volume from 2021. So even this, it took me 2 years to read, but I'm very glad I did. And I wanted to introduce this to you because it's really, really a beautiful bind up of just really great writing from Japan. So if you're not aware, this Monkey is actually a very famous literary magazine in Japanese. Now, this is not just an English translation of those magazines, it's its own thing. But it is excuse me, I also have a really bad cough. It was originally and is still a Japanese literary magazine, and then it had an initial run of the English one, which this part I'm not too familiar with the history, but this magazine has existed for a while, but it seems like it got a revamp recently, maybe because it has a new editor. I'm not too sure what the story about that is, but this is introduced by Ted Goosen, who is quite a very famous translator for Japanese literature. And I'm sure volume 1 probably would have explained all of this, but I don't have that one. In any case, all it is to say is that this is a literary magazine that has existed for quite a while. Now, in its current rendition in English, it comes out once a year in November. So it is available for purchase. There is a physical print version that you can buy, but there's also a electronic, like a Kindle version that you can purchase as well. So there's a lot of variety and choice with that, which is really, really quite good. Now, this is quite amazing. So they're included in this particular issue. You have Mieko Kawakami, you have Hiromi Kawakami, Haruki Murakami, you have Kikuko Tsumura, you have Hideo Furukawa, you have Hiroko Oyamada, you have Yasunari Kawabata, you have Yugo Tsushima. Basically, you have like the great of the greats in the Japanese literary world, but you also have some authors that haven't that don't have as much of a namesake yet in the English translation. So Hiromi Ito or Satoshi Kitamura or Tatsuhiko Shibusawa. So things like that. So there's just really, really great, just a great like selection of Japanese authors, and it's really, really in this beautiful, beautiful bind up. This is just amazingly well done, and I'm gonna give you a glimpse because you have all these really great this is actually one of my favorite stories from this bind up. So you have all your stories. This one is called Hell by Kikuko Tsumura. I quite like this, translated by Polly Barton. Again, you have really great translators as well. You have Polly Barton, you have David Boy, you have Michael Emmerich, you have Jay Rubin, Morgan Giles, Ted Goosen. Like, you have like some of like the top translators in the Japanese to English translating world right now who have translated these stories. So you know you're getting excellent quality as well with the stories. So yeah, you have all these wonderful stories, and they're all just all what's the word, put together with these really amazing illustrations. This whole book is incredibly beautiful. Here's more illustrations, so you can kind of get like a good flip through of what it looks like. Again, more illustrations. I mean, every page is absolutely stunning. I mean, even just, it seems a light thing to say, but even just like the font choice just makes this really easy to read and very just a real pleasure, both in terms of reading experience, but also just a visual experience. This one also includes a short sort of graphic novel, but just like the length of a chapter basically, but you can see how beautifully this is made. So I really wanted to introduce this as an option for you to read, to get a sort of get your toes in the water with Japanese writers. Maybe you can see if you have a preference for certain writers and you can go in that direction with their full-length works, or if you just want to be, you know, ahead of the curve with new fiction into translation. Especially since so many of these are short stories, it's not guaranteed they're going to be translated into an actual bind-up that you can just purchase at the bookstore. So this is a really a great option, and I really highly recommend it. Now, I am gonna say, in perfectly honesty, for the stories in this particular bind-up, I wasn't really, there weren't too many that blew my mind. My favorite were the ones, The Hell, which I mentioned, I showed you, and then the one by Yuko Tsushima, because she's an author that I actually quite like. Some of the authors, some of the short stories were a miss with me, but the thing is that these things are very subjective, so what I don't like, you might actually quite love. So I'm just putting it up there so that in my next video where I do my reading wrap up, you're not surprised when I say, oh, I didn't actually really like any of the stories in this bind up. Like, I don't want you to think that I'm lying to you to maybe like make you buy this. No, it's just, it's a very subjective thing. So even though I didn't like these short stories, nothing says that I won't like the short stories in the next volume or the next volume. This particular volume, volume 2, is based on travel, because this was published right basically during the peak of COVID. And so because we couldn't travel, this issue decided to focus on travel. The very first issue was focused on food, and the current issue, the one that just came out this past November, the 2023 issue, has a focus on music. So, and having a look at it online, there are, again, many amazing, like really renowned authors that are featured in that. Another thing I did like was at the end of this particular volume, I don't know if it's something that exists in all the volumes, but there's a back from the translators, which is called I Can't Translate This, Remarks from 12 Translators, where they mentioned something that they struggle a little bit with translation, or they wish, they reflect on it, maybe they wish they could translate it in a better way, or maybe they wish that the word existed in English, etc., which was really quite lovely to read. Jeffrey Engel's fairly cliched thoughts on the word natsukashi, which means nostalgic, but there are many ways to translate that. You just have to be a little creative. Polly Barton on the obasan and ojisan. Sam Bet on the word midori, which is green, but midori, Japanese has a whole thing with the color green and blue. Then David Boy on the word meat, Michael Emmerich on homophonic names, etc. Like, I really enjoyed that part as well. That was a really good insight onto what the translations have to deal with when they're translated into English. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, and I hope that you guys will take a look at this. Again, it's available on the website. You can just look up Monkey Japanese Literary Review on Google, and it'll show up, and you can purchase either the physical version, or you can purchase the online version or the EPUB version. So yeah, definitely take a look at this if you're interested, and tell me what you think when you read it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!